Welcome, everyone. We're doing a short mini-series following up on the Web Summit conference that was just hosted here in Vancouver to talk with some experts in the technology space around what are they seeing within the space and were there any things that maybe are not a part of the conversation and really should be. With me today is Alan Seiden from Seiden Group. Alan and his team are experts in the IBMI space, and we've had the pleasure of working with them on a couple of projects. So when you're thinking about how are we going to use IBMI tools, either legacy ones or new ones in our space and integrating it with all of the other software, they are the team to go to in this space around that. So thank you for joining us today, Alan. A couple of questions from what you're seeing in the marketplace. On the technology and AI side, are there pieces that you're seeing that are giving you aha moments? Wow, this is really cutting edge. This is so exciting. What are some of those pieces to you?
Yeah, some of that is the way systems can be integrated. It's like in our world, we're dealing with old and new all the time. And so even IBM is doing a good job of, first of all, they're hiring a lot of young, sharp people who understand this very well. And they are fine with old, with new, and everything. It's not a problem in bringing it all together. The database can talk to AI can talk to the database, programs, ways to move data around to wherever it needs to be manipulated or used, because AI needs data. AI lives on data. And in our systems, we have 40 years of data. It's like a playground for AI. So of course you have to be careful what you do with it as well. But that's some of the things that are happening, this integration that's happening.
When it comes to that technology and AI space, are there any particular pieces that you think these are really amazing ways that this could be used and we're not there yet?
Yeah, people in the consumer world, we've been hearing about the LLMs and generative AI as if that's everything. And that's certainly very powerful on a personal level. I can improve the way my emails are written, or have an article be partly done, or many other kinds of questions. It's like having a smart friend or a group of smart friends on different subjects to talk to. But there's a lot more than that, including retrieval-augmented generation. It's like using live data because our LLMs are trained on old data by definition. It's trained on old data. So the important thing is to bring in live data that's here now, which we also can control with regular programming. AI is powerful, but not, it seems like magic, but it's not 100% magic. We need to add often other aspects of it, like programming that controls what information are we going to show people. If they have a chatbot going over our database, what are we going to tell them? It helps to have live data and some logic in it too as well. So that's called RAG is the acronym. That's one thing that, especially in our systems where there's so much data, it could be a bit sensitive sometimes. So we bring that in. There's a lot more to it. That's one thing that I've been thinking about quite a bit.
Yeah. In terms of when you think about either the technology and the AI space, are there pieces that we should be talking about and maybe we're not focused enough on when it comes into that space and in the conversations that people are having and the articles being presented? Do you think there's something that's missing from the conversation or maybe not highlighted as well as it should be?
We have been talking about privacy implications and other things like that. There have been a lot of discussions. I think, however, we're all in such a feeling so competitive that we want to rush fast, and we have to go fast, understand what's going on. Some companies like IBM, with their granite models, actually are trying to be correct so that all their models can be used in corporations without fear where the data is coming from. There's not going to be offensive content. We're quick. We have all these PhDs working on these problems for a long time, but we're going to be careful also and be correct and know what we're doing. Other companies and entities are going, look, we're going to be just the quick, have the biggest amount of data and everything. So these discussions of where do we want to land there? What are our ethics? How do we feel we want to proceed? What about content we're using? Is it copyrighted? Is it someone else's? Do we just use it and worry about being sued later? Or are we actually careful now? So those are some questions that actually are being asked. And it's a matter of where we decide to land on it.
Yeah, I think that AI governance piece and AI strategy piece is a really relevant part of the conversation in terms of what people should be figuring out before they start introducing these tools into their organizations. When it comes to that AI governance, do you find that there's certain companies that are really nailing it in terms of doing that effectively? Or do you find that there's generally a pretty big gap in terms of organizations really getting that right and thinking through it in advance?
Yeah, in Europe, there are actually laws that have come out I'm aware of that actually regulate some of the use of AI. The AI has to explain, how did I come up with it? To be fair to people, how did I come up with these decisions? That kind of thing. And here I'm mostly familiar with what IBM has done, where they've been the most kind of correct and careful that I know of. But so I don't know what everybody does, but there is this rush for speed. Let's just do something. It's almost let's do something with AI. I'd like to see some business cases, some business use cases of what do we want to do with it and find practical use cases and address those. And then also realize don't do something that's going to embarrass yourself, that'll let some data out that you don't want to go out. Maybe you don't want one customer to see someone else's data. You don't want everyone to see pricing and salaries and so on. So I'm not saying, but we all have to do something is a good idea. Taking
Yeah,
action to learn from it and learn from our mistakes as well.
absolutely. On that note, what are you playing with right now, Alan, across Seiden Group?
Yeah, we're actually giving a seminar. One of our clients, they're holding an AI forum with various vendors coming, and we're doing that. And so we're going to try to tailor that to be meaningful to them, as well as showing what LLMs can do and the limitations of them. We've been invited to give a workshop in Scandinavia next fall to have, it's mainly aimed at traditional programmers and what can they do with AI? How do they integrate it and use it? So that should be very interesting. On a personal level here, I'm using it more and more. I surprise myself by using it more and more to help do some writing. Even if I can explain a problem clearly to it, it may be able to give me even some of the theory behind it. It actually helped us quite a bit on a problem that a client couldn't solve for years. And we
Oh,
had to
very cool.
start. So we had to start. Like we took the bits and pieces and we made it comprehensible. And then one of the chat surfaces helped clarify it a bit more. So that was quite interesting. I thought I'd try it, just why not? And it really
Yeah,
amazed me with what it could tell me. But you
very
have to
cool.
be careful. The answers always look correct. The form of the answers is always correct. And even me, a good mistake finder, sometimes lets things through. But yeah, I'm amazed too. But I know we're going to do more things. Chat bots is always the example, but there's a good reason for it because the younger people don't want to read a lot of text. They want to ask a question and get an answer. So to prepare for the generation coming up, that's an important thing to do. And that's a
Hmm.
reason why it's popular.
Yeah. Are there any particular tools, you, Alan, that you're like, oh, I'm having the most fun with this one?
No, but I will say what I know my team is doing and our colleagues are doing because we're in the field of technology and programming. And so that actually is a great area where AI is helpful because of the rules are so specific for programming and applications. So we're all using it. We're all using it to help understand what applications do. And this is something IBM is working on as well as tools to say, take an old application, old programs and explain what it does or reshape it or change it and make it better and improve it. We can even use AI to use words to describe what we'd like to do and have the system come up with some code for us. So I almost forgot to talk about it because it's so obvious, but that's true. That's what we're all doing and it's getting better and better. It's getting better and better everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's even like part of our job is to help the next generation of say programmers learn some of the traditional or older technologies and AI. I don't even think it's a problem anymore because AI can help people learn that. So you hear about that in the news all the time about old systems and no one can maintain them. But I think some of those problems will get help from what AI can do for us.
Yeah, and I think that's something that certainly you've dealt with, and we've dealt with even together with some
Yes,
organizations that
we
have
have.
legacy systems. And what's so amazing is there is really an extra way to learn about those legacy systems, how to handle them, even the unique ones that have been custom coded. You can really start to break down how they're working using AI as an additional tool so that we can de-risk some of the legacy technology stacks that are out there today, which is quite cool.
Exactly. You remember like a year or two ago, how are we going to do this? I knew we could do it, but now I know we really can do it in a more efficient way with traditional methods and AI combined.
Yeah, so cool. Thank you so much for being with us today, Alan, and sharing your insight. I know you mentioned a couple of the new exciting talks and seminars that you have coming up. So we'll make sure that we include that in this episode just so folks can find you if you have some of that content available later.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Alan.